Hey guys, what's up? Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. What I do is every day of 2024, I vow to check out a new band or artist. I check out 4 songs from across their discography, give you my initial thoughts on the songs, rank the songs, and then of course give you my overall thoughts on the artist. As you can see right there, today's artist is Wolves at the Gate. This was a suggestion to me. I literally had never even heard this band name before, so I wondered what they played. I was advised that they play metalcore. So I like me some metalcore, so I was definitely willing to check it out. I figured they were a super small band, so to my surprise, they actually had, 150,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and they haven't released anything since the end of last year. So I was like, okay, so even when not pushing an album, they have pretty decent streams, so I guess I probably should have heard of this band. So I'm going to remedy that mistake now, and I'm going to dive into Wolves at the Gate. Alright, so it looks like this band's been around for a while. The oldest album that is in their top 10 on Spotify is from 2012, called Captors, so I checked out the song Dead Man. Okay, so I now know why I'd never heard of this band before. It's Christcore. I had stopped going to church way before the metalcore sound came about. So yeah, I'm more of a Relient K kind of kid. That being said, I don't have anything against faith-based music. Like I said, I like Relient K quite a bit. Some of their songs are a little too on the nose for me, but the vast majority are not. With Wolves at the Gate, this is the only song I've checked out so far, and I can say that the lyrics are very on the nose. So, That being said, I really dug the melody, both vocally and musically, that started off the song. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna love this song. And then the lyrics started, and I was like, I don't love this as much as I thought. But musically, it's still great. After about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, it kind of faded. They started doing, typical metalcore wheedlies and shredding. So that took away from it a little bit for me. But at least when the chorus came back, it went back to that style I like. Alright, next up is their 2019 album Eclipse. And the song Counterfeit actually has their most streams at all. So let's check this track out. Okay, so happy to report first off, lyrics are much better here, not too on the nose, still faith-based of course, but not overtly obvious, so I enjoy the subtlety a little more. But what I enjoy even more than the lyrics is the whole package the song is wrapped in. With the exception of no politics being mentioned, this could be a Rise Against song, like just musically, vocally, melody-wise, ignoring the lyrics, this could be a Rise Against song. And Rise Against does a great way of doing rock music, but still making it accessible and catchy. And that's what I would describe Counterfeit as. No surprise, this one has the most streams. I'm interested to see if they stick with this kind of style, or if they go back to their heavier stuff that I just heard. Alright, so in 2022, they released an album called Eulogy, so I checked out the Pi Stream song off that, Peace That Starts the War. Alright, so I wasn't sure what kind of route this band would go in, if they'd stick with the style of Counterfeit, or if they would go back to heavier stuff, and I'm still unsure after listening to this track, because honestly, this is like an even mix of both styles. There's some catchiness that was on Counterfeit, but there's also like the heavy and unclean vocals that we found in Dead Man. Speaking of the uncleans on the outro are probably the best uncleans that I've heard this band do over, well, I guess it was only 2 songs, but still, I enjoyed it. But this band really feels the need to like shoehorn a solo into every song, huh? Dead Man was at least 4 minutes. This song and Counterfeit were under 3 minutes, and they were still like, yeah, let's throw a 20-second solo in there. Why not? Last but not least, they released an album called Lost in Translation last year, and I was going to check out a song off that until after the last song, a song called Breaking the Habit off that album started, and it was Linkin Park cover. I then seen a song called Heathens, so I clicked that, and it was the 21 Pilots cover. So I am now assuming this is a cover album, and I don't really want to judge them based off a cover. So luckily, I can still stay in chronological order because for some reason they released an EP called Lowborn in 2022, same year they released the Eulogies album. So I'm going to check off the most streamed song off that, which is Lowborn. I should have just listened to a cover. Yeah. So musically, I felt the song was basically just heavy to be heavy, shreddy just to be shreddy. Didn't really do anything interesting, and the lyrics, they were too on the nose. So I wondered why they would release an EP the same year they released an album. I'm now starting to think that they're separating out their two worlds. They're doing kind of like a straight up metalcore release and then pairing that down the line with a second, more gospel oriented release. So that seems to be what happened here anyways. You guys let me know in the comments if you know Wolves of the Gate and if that follows their release pattern. Because, yeah, I thought maybe this was an EP that was being added together as like a deluxe edition, but it seems to be standalone based on Spotify sorting anyways. Alright, so that does it for the 4 songs I checked out. Let's rank them. At number 1, to no surprise, it's the catchy, the accessible, Counterfeit. I love me some Rise Against. This sounds like it could be Rise Against minus the lyrics, so big thumbs up for me on Counterfeit. At number 2, I'll do Peace That Starts the War. My only downside here was that it was the 3rd song I listened to, so some of the tropes that Wolves at the Gate is known for, I guess, at this point, kind of wore down on me. The strong, catchy parts that I liked about Counterfeit, just in a smaller dosage, which is why it fell behind it. At number 3, we're doing Dead Man. Had the lyrics have not been so on the nose, this could have easily pushed for number 2, because when the musicality was there that I liked in the beginning and on the chorus, I liked it a whole lot. But unfortunately, lyrics are just way too important for me, and I just couldn't get past the Christ core of it all. Speaking of the Christ core of it all, to no surprise, number 4 is Lowborn. This was just everything I didn't like about Christ core when I had heard it, and why I never dove into it, which was a shame because there's bands like The Devil Wears Prada that I just did one of these on, and August Burns Red way down the line that I got into that I wrote off because they were signed to solid state records like Wolves at the Gate are, or were given the Christ core tag. So if you guys know any Christ core that doesn't fall into these tropes so much, that I've probably ignored, leave them in the comments right now so I can go check them out on a future edition of this. So overall, my thoughts on Wolves at the Gate are the band is very strong when it wants to be. The musicality is there. Songs like Counterfeit and the beginning of Dead Man show us that. And they're even able to meld accessibility with heaviness quite well, like the Peace That Starts the War showed us. Unfortunately, not all of the songs are for me, and I realize that's a choice. They're playing to 2 segments of the audience, and I'm only one of them. They're having their pie and eating it too by releasing an album that appeals to me and an EP that will appeal to the other audience over there. And that's fine. I'm all for bands doing that, and in fact, they probably make a lot more money from the people over there than they do on me, because I just stream 4 songs on Spotify. Yeah. So that was my thoughts on Wolves at the Gate. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know your thoughts on Christ core overall. Do you dislike it when the lyrics are too on the nose like I do? Are you the opposite? You like to see that in your music? Hit the comments, let me know. Give me other bands or artists to check out, because, you know, we're on day 70 something, so got a lot more of these to do. I'd appreciate it. And I hope you go back in the backlog. There's a bunch more episodes to check out if you just stumbled upon this one. And if you did just stumble upon this one, I hope you stick around for the ride. And the best way to do that is to listen to your friendly neighborhood Emo Cat Dad and simply cut my wrists and hit subscribe. Emo Cat Dad signing off until next time. I want to hear you sad.